Inside this building, a polished resume is secondary. The required credential for a job here is a history of trauma, addiction, or severe psychological struggle. In the world of mental health nonprofits and recovery charities, past pain is transformed into a professional asset. These organizations market themselves as a refuge from the coldness of traditional employment. Their mission statements promise a workspace built on second chances, where the guarantee of emotional safety and staff well-being takes precedence over raw productivity. This illustrates the wounded healer paradigm. It is the expectation that leaders in this sector must continuously mine their own chaotic, dark energy and transmute it into structured support for the people they serve. This paradigm creates a facade. It builds the expectation that a leader can be both professional and perpetually vulnerable, operating within an environment that assumes its staff has transcended normal human limits. The reality of human limits eventually asserts itself. Under the weight of managing both organizational growth and deep-seated personal history, the CEO reaches a breaking point and suffers a mental health breakdown. In the middle of this crisis, the leader follows the company's own training. They self-harm, alert their colleagues, and trigger the official safeguarding protocol designed to protect the staff. But the disclosure triggers a shift in perspective. Instead of a colleague in need, the board of directors sees a liability. They mandate an immediate leave of absence and revoke office access, initiating a corporate immune response that isolates the perceived infection to protect the brand. The charity followed its written policy to the letter, yet the human being at the center was left entirely isolated. In its rush to manage the paperwork of a crisis, the organization abandoned the person the paperwork was supposed to protect. After several weeks, the leader attempts to return to the office, moving from a clinical leave of absence back into the high-pressure world of nonprofit management. The office culture has shifted. The previous atmosphere of empathy has been replaced by a pervasive, suspicious scrutiny from the staff and the board. CEO roles involve managing hundreds of moving parts, and small administrative errors are inevitable. However, an unanswered email, an unassigned task, or an unpolished poster design are no longer viewed as normal mistakes. These hiccups funnel into a new narrative. Minor errors are weaponized and diagnosed as symptoms of psychological decline, proof the leader is unfit for the role. This hyper-scrutiny erodes their confidence, fostering imposter syndrome so severe their internal capability collapses under external judgment. The irony is complete. An organization of experts in mental health has engineered a secondary psychological crisis for its own leader. The most intense pressure originates with the peers and colleagues who share the exact same lived experiences as the leader they are now criticizing. They adopt a moral lens, using the language of professionalism and policy to mask personal anxieties. This allows them to enact harsh judgment under the guise of institutional safety. We see this across the sector. A clinical doctor with a psychotic break in their past is suddenly treated as a danger to the ward, despite a decade of successful practice. Peers use a single moment of history to invalidate years of objective performance. Within the office, this manifests as weaponized gossip. Interpersonal conflicts and past relationships are used to rewrite the leader's professional history, turning a human crisis into a character flaw. The actual data, the fundraising targets met and the strategic budgets balanced, is completely erased from the collective memory. The record of success is replaced by a single question mark over the leader's mental fitness. The ultimate result is a total delegitimization of their career. Colleagues suggest the leader only reached the CEO position because of their appearance or personal favors. In these environments, demonstrating vulnerability doesn't foster connection. It provides the ammunition for professional character assassination. The resulting daily reality is one of profound isolation. The leader spends their energy trying to prove their worth to a board that has already concluded they are broken. To fight the perception of weakness, the leader absorbs a massive administrative burden, refusing to delegate even the smallest tasks. They take on the work of 3 people just to silence the doubters. Eventually, the leader begins to envy the emotional detachment of a standard corporate cubicle. They realize a soulless company that never promised empathy would likely be less manipulative and less exhausting than a charity that uses compassion as a weapon. The charity's safe space has become more psychologically damaging than the traditional corporate world it claimed to replace. Penalizing a leader for asking for help does not fix organizational health. It ensures the struggles remain hidden. This creates a culture where the next generation of leaders will work in silence, hiding their humanity until they burn out and disconnect from the network entirely. Authentic workplace compassion is measured by the grace a system allows a leader who breaks. It requires the ability to see a human crisis as a moment for recovery, rather than proof of permanent incompetence.